In this video, we're going to review the terminology we use when dealing with functions, and we'll see a couple built-in functions in Excel. So I'm going to call back to high school level of mathematics and talk about functions just for a second. So you may remember functions something like f of x is going to be equal to 2x plus 3. And then later on, you could plug in values of x. So you might have f of 5 would be 10 plus 3 is 13, or f of 10 might be 2 times 10 is 20 plus 3 is 23. Right? This is what we described as a function. So you had the function name, and then you also had function parameters, and then it produced a value. Functions in Excel are very similar. We're going to have a function name, and then we're going to have parameters. And so if you're given a function name and its parameters, it will actually calculate a value for you. So let's do one of the most basic functions we can use in Excel, which is the sum function. So I'm going to start off my formula by typing equals, and I'm going to type sum, and then I use a bracket. And then you'll see down below, it's prompting me that to sum, I need numbers. So if I'm going to say what is 10 and 5 and 20, it's going to add those up. Now, you might look at sum and go, what's the point of that? I can just use the plus operator. Well, we'll motivate that in a future video. But now let's just take a look at what we have here and the terminology we're using. Again, we start the formula with the equal sign, and then we have the name of the function. In this case, it's sum for summation. And then we have a number of parameters, in this case, 3 parameters. I'm telling it to add up 10 and 5 and 20. Another function that might be slightly more useful might be average. I'm going to type in average, and then I might do the same numbers, 10 and 5 and 20. And you might not be as quick to realize that the average of those is 11 2/3. So these are 2 examples of built-in functions in Excel that have a name and number of parameters. You can combine and use more than one function in a formula. For example, I might take the average of 10 and 5 and 20 and then add that to the sum of 3 and 4 and 5. You can also nest formulas, so that's important. What I might do is instead of writing average of 10 and 5 and 20 and add that to 3 and 4 and 5, what I may do is just go ahead and do sum of average and 3, 4, 5. All right, so now you can see I've put average inside of sum. You can nest them, you can combine them together, and use them in lots of interesting combinations. Make sure you use brackets properly to make sure you identify. And Excel is pretty good. If I go up to here to the formula bar, it'll show me which bracket. If you notice, when I move to this bracket with my cursor, it'll show me where this opening bracket is or where the ending bracket is. Also, underneath, it shows me what parameters it's expecting. Sum and average are quite straightforward. They both expect numbers. But later on, there will be functions with more complicated parameters, and we'll see how to use them.